Hello, my beautiful movie peeps. Thank you so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. I know I'm sorry to my hardcore subscribers that I wasn't posting anything on the channel the past couple of days. Gotta be honest, everybody was just so focused on Elon Musk destroying Twitter that I just didn't see enough news worthy to make a video about, and that's what I always want to bring to you guys, video worthy news and topics. So just to make it up to you a little bit, I made this quick and short little meme for you. Enjoy. Alright, but some of the stuff we're going to be discussing here today, guys, is we got some pretty cool updates involving Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We have Netflix announcing their next big franchise, or at least what they're hoping to make a big franchise. And what's got me really pumped up and curious is it looks like James Gunn is moving forward with a Justice League 2. That, or Jason Momoa is doing something a lot more exciting in the DC universe. That along with so much more, so I'm going to you guys give me your opinions with everything we discuss here today. I will be watching Black Panther Wakanda Forever tomorrow and have a review for you guys here on the channel, but with Black Panther Wakanda Forever being the end of Phase 4, I think this week here on the channel, we're going to be talking ourselves how we feel about this entire phase. I'm going to start off with a video talking about how Phase 4 turned out way differently than it was originally planned. So just be looking forward to that here on the channel, but without further ado, let's just dive into it. One of the first things I wanted to discuss here today, guys, is earlier in the week, we got the confirmation that Scream 6, one of my most anticipated movies of next year, got its release date moved. Now, originally, Scream 6 was set to come out March 31st, 2023, then Paramount decided to switch up the dates and move it up all the way to March 10th, 2023. A lot of Scream fans like me got instantly pumped because that just meant 21 days earlier we'll be getting Scream 6, seeing Ghostface haunt New York. Oh, I can't wait, baby. But then when I started doing some digging here to try and understand why did they move the release date, a lot of people were mentioning, oh, Paramount was scared of John Wick 4. That was the movie that would be releasing the week before Scream 6, and since that's in the rated R category, maybe it would have eaten away some of the rated R audience members going to see the new Scream movie. But I gotta admit to you, I feel like their new release date is a little bit more scary. Not only does this bring them closer to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, that sure will be about a month away since it'll be coming out February 17th, but we know them Marvel movies be having legs, okay? People go back and back repeatedly every week, so just having it that much closer to a Marvel movie, I think is gonna eat away at some box office. But even more detrimental, this puts it a week away from Creed 3, and we saw that trailer. People are gonna go watch this movie, and there wasn't a mistake why Creed 3 got moved from this year to next year to be released right after Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That was a smart business decision because they knew, whoa, our main villain in Creed 3 is about to be the villain in Ant-Man 3? Yeah, let's let audiences see this actor in Ant-Man, then they'll want to come see him in Creed 3. We've seen this happen dozens of times. Once an actor enters the MCU, they've become mainstream. Everybody knows about them and would love to see more stuff with them. And then the week after that, you have Shazam! Fury of the Gods coming out. Oh, I feel like Scream 6 is put into a pickle situation, and I'm like, why are you releasing this movie like this? You are setting it up for a bit of failure here. Luckily, this Scream movie is following what Blumhouse has done lately, where they just make their slashers on the cheap so that hopefully they can turn a profit. I mean, look at Halloween Ends. Most fans were screaming out how much they disliked that movie, and it was on streaming the same day, and it still managed to make over $100 billion. I'm hoping the best for Scream 6, but I gotta say, I'm a little worried. I want me that 7th film. My Scream fans, how are you feeling about Scream 6 getting sandwiched into a new release date that might hurt its box office? And since we're on the topic of horror movies, I wanted to discuss here something kind of sad we found out about. You guys might have recently heard the Conjuring universe is kicking up again. We are getting more movies in this world. We got confirmed Conjuring 4 is going to be coming soon, and The Nun 2 looks to already be filming, and we'll be getting that movie next year. But admittedly, with Warner Brothers having new owners at Discovery and us not really knowing what the future of some of these movies are, we're wondering, are there still going to be more spin-offs outside of these two movies? And one we can for sure know is now not coming. We got informed here by James Wan that the Crooked Man spin-off movie that was in the works for the longest time is now officially not happening. James Wan took to social media to show us a photo of the Crooked Man behind the scenes in the Conjuring movies, and at the bottom of this post he let it be known, and no, unfortunately the spin-off movie with this character isn't happening. Outside of my control, but maybe one day. And I feel like that's kind of a bummer, man. I remember the Crooked Man looking like a really interesting character in The Conjuring 2, and I wanted to see what that movie would have ended up looking like. Heck, and even though some of these spin-off movies haven't been absolute winners, like with that first Nun movie, I'm still curious to see more monsters or creatures in this Conjuring universe, but lately, it feels like it's stalled off. And these spin-off movies are now on the back of Conjuring 4 and The Nun 2 to see whether they continue. And I feel like that just kind of sucks that the future of these spin-off Conjuring movies rest on The Nun 2 when people did not really love the first Nun. But I am rooting for The Nun 2 and The Conjuring 4 because I like this universe. I think it should continue on. Warner Brothers has something here really good, but with their new management, they might just change their mind. How are you guys feeling about the future of the Conjuring universe? Would you want to see more spin-off movies? Are you sad about the Crooked Man not happening? Is there a character in one of the movies that you think deserved a spin-off? I'd love to hear from you guys. Moving on here, talking about Netflix, we got some exciting news from my Xbox fans because we got the confirmation from Netflix that Gears of War is being adapted into a movie and also getting an adult animated series. The movie will be live action, and Netflix hopes it to be one of their next big franchises where they can make multiple movies about. And Gears of War to me might be a video game that I never played because I was a PlayStation guy, so I never really owned an Xbox. But because I'm a movie guy, that's one of the video game movies I heard people always wanting. People were always screaming, give me a Gears of War movie, cast Dave Bautista in it, it would be so awesome. And now all these years later, that's finally happening here with Netflix. We see this every year with Netflix, that they're desperately trying to find their next franchise or something to keep people associated with Netflix. Because every year studios decide to open up their own streaming service and do their own thing, more and more movies and TV shows get taken off Netflix so they can be put on another streaming service. And with Gears of War, I'm optimistic that this could be the thing, but I do just wonder if it's a little too late because I don't see that much talk about Gears of War other than just some nostalgia talk from people who played it when they were a bit younger. I'm sure this will make some people very happy. I want to know from you guys, how do you feel about this being one of Netflix's big ambitious projects to turn into a franchise? And speaking of franchises, we do got here an update concerning the Avatar movies that I just thought was worth talking about. We know the latest Avatar sequel is finally being released, The Way of Water, in December this year. It has just been in the works for so long, and you know James Cameron is working on at least 5 to 6 more Avatar movies. And every time we get an update on these Avatar movies, I sound like the ultimate Avatar hater going, does anyone care about these movies? Are they gonna make money at the box office? Will people actually be hyped to see a total of 6 to 7 Avatar films? And even James Cameron is being realistic with himself. James Cameron had this to say going, the market could be telling us we're done in 3 months, or we might be semi-done, meaning, okay, let's complete the story within movie 3 and not go on endlessly if it's not profitable. We're in a different world now than we were when I wrote this stuff even. It's 1-2 punch. The pandemic and streaming, or conversely, will remind people what going to the theater is all about. The film definitely does that. The question is, how many people give a shit now? Let me tell you, even though it seemed like I'm a big Avatar hater, always love and respecting the world for James Cameron. The man has made some of the top grossing movies of all time. Not to mention a great filmmaker on his own, and just to see him be that realistic with himself, like, yeah, man, I'm making 6 Avatar movies, but if this next one flops, we're gonna end it at movie 3. And that's just so interesting to me that he has this like 6-5 movie plan, but he can just go ahead and end it on the 3rd film if he'd like. I'm more curious than ever not only to see Avatar: The Way of Water, but to see how the world responds to this 2nd movie, and if it becomes a big hit, will they move forward with 5-6 movies, or are they gonna end it after 1 more? That's where I want to toss it off to you guys. You hear James Cameron mention this, that he'd be willing to end the franchise on the 3rd movie. Do you think he'll actually get to Avatar 5 or 6, or Avatar 2 is going to underperform a little bit? Moving on here, we got some updates concerning Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse that I think sound super exciting. For one, we just got the confirmation of who will be voicing Spider-Punk, aka Hobie Brown, and it'll be actor Daniel Kaluuya, which I think is a major win. Daniel Kaluuya has to be one of the best actors working in Hollywood right now, and knowing he's going to voice an iconic version of Spider-Man, that's got me pumped. And I'm not the only one. It seemed like most of the Spider-Man community were really happy to have him on board, and made them wonder who are going to be all these other voice actors. Because from the long list of newly confirmed Spider-Man variants showing up in this movie, they still got a lot of voices to fill in. And heck, even on that subject, take this next story with a grain of salt, but hey, I think it's worth talking about. Thanks to an article from the Cosmic Circus here, they have come out and said that they've heard reports that not only is Tom Holland set to make a cameo appearance in this movie, but they're also trying to get the video game version of Spider-Man from the latest Insomniac iteration to also show up. I think a lot of people would be so pumped and excited to see the Tom Holland version show up in Into the Spider-Verse, and especially with this new movie, making it clear that every time we go into a new version of the Spider-Verse that they change their style. It's got that debate, people wondering if Tom Holland cameos, is he going to be live action or will they keep him animated and just kind of go for a realistic look? Same thing even goes for the Insomniac Spider-Man. Can you imagine us going to like a video game cutscene and then just keeping the animation style to what it looks like in the actual game? But the rumors don't just stop there, because of course we're getting reports that Sony wants to include Tobey and Andrew Garfield, which, hey, just those two names alone attached to each other gets Spider-Man fans a little too excited. But it does beg the question, now that it's been done already in Spider-Man No Way Home, is that something we'd be all that pumped to see, seeing them in animated form? And from the way they talk about it, I don't even know if they would get speaking roles. To me, it sounds like if they do this, it'll be a thing where maybe there's like 100 Spider-Man characters on screen and they're just like there in the background, or it's like through quick flashes and we just happen to get a glimpse of their worlds. I feel like this is something more likely to happen in the third movie, or part 2 of Across the Spider-Verse, that we know is coming, Beyond the Spider-Verse to be exact. That feels like the big ending thing you would want with these types of cameos. Still, I think it's exciting to talk about nonetheless as Spider-Man fans. How do you feel about Daniel Kaluuya voicing one of the Spider People, and these rumors and reports concerning other cameos? Could they work, and how do you see them implemented into the movie? Bringing it now to talk about DC Studios, or I should say the DCU. It's gonna get some getting used to say that. It's been approximately 8 days now that James Gunn and Peter Safran have taken over the studio and have started work to fix up the DC universe. And man, it looks like we just got some exciting stuff working in the background, because Jason Momoa took to his social media to kind of hype up fans that he just got informed of a dream project that he'll be doing. I was really hesitant when I first saw the video, because it could be about anything. It didn't have to be DC or Warner Brothers related. He could have got confirmation for a whole separate movie that we didn't even know about, but then another video popped up that made it seem very clear, oh, it's DC related. So let me play you guys the sequence of videos that happened yesterday.
Worst thing in the world. All right, this needs to be documented. What's the date today? 6th. The 6th of November. The greatest news, some of the greatest news in my life just happened. I can't say anything about it. Fuck yes! Ah! I can't wait to share with you, but they won't let me share anything. I want you to remember this date, November 6th. Mwah! You know who you are. Mwah! Mwah, maestro. Mwah!
Now, Jason with Henry Cavill back in the tights as Superman. I gotta say, man, it looks like things are open for the JL to come back together, maybe take on Black Adam. What are your thoughts?
I think with Peter Safran and Mr. Gunn at the helm now of DC, I'm very excited about that. There's a lot of cool things going to be coming up, and one of my dreams come true will be happening under their watch. So stay tuned.
So that right there has to be really exciting to DC fans, but what exactly could he be talking about? What is this dream project? Well, once these videos started hitting online yesterday, a bunch of the scoopers and leakers started talking to their sources, trying to figure out what exactly did Jason Momoa just get informed about. And as of right now, the credible scoopers are mentioning that Jason Momoa got informed of the Justice League 2 that'll be directed by Andy Muschietti. And there's even some evidence in these videos to kind of back that up. For one, Jason Momoa, in this little announcement video he decided to make, mention that he heard the news from the Maestro himself. And it turns out that Maestro was a nickname given to Andy Muschietti, the director of The Flash, where we even have a video all the way back from DC Fandom where The Flash, Ezra Miller, addresses the director as Maestro.
But we do have this small sneak peek that my maestro Andy and I have put together that we really hope you'll enjoy. Someone like the maestro, Andy Muschietti, greatest time of my life.
Mwah! You know who you are. Mwah! Mwah, maestro. Mwah!
Basically looking likely like James Gunn has figured out how to fix the DCEU, that he's got a plan in place to bring the Justice League together, but My thing is here, is that really it? I feel like there has to be a lot more to it than just, oh, Justice League 2 is happening and Jason Momoa will be part of it. Because, like, really? That's his dream? That's what got Jason Momoa so excited? A sequel to one of the most controversial DC movies out there? I don't know. That makes me a little hesitant. So I feel like it must be the details involved with Justice League 2 that's got the man hyped. This is where we just get into fan speculation territory, adding on what makes this deal so sweet. And to me, it would be the return of a couple of people. One, Ben Affleck being part of Justice League 2, and Ray Fisher's Cyborg. I think if Jason Momoa got the news that the entire gang is back together for another Justice League movie, that would probably be a dream come true, because he thought that would never happen after what happened with the last Justice League movie and the changes in Warner Brothers. Still, man, you gotta admit, James Gunn and Peter Safran are going hard at work. They're doing stuff that's making the crew and people attached to these movies excited, so I think that should make us fans really excited. This is where I throw it off to you guys. You see this video with Jason Momoa, you hear these rumors that maybe it's the Justice League 2. What do you think is this dream DC project that just got developed thanks to Peter Safran and James Gunn? I'd love to hear from you guys. But that is all movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.